what's up, guys? It's Wednesday, at least for me, and I want to keep talking about dating that we've been talking about recently. But this time, I'm not going to speak so much to the guys because I've been really talking to you mostly, but I really want to speak to the women. And some of this is going to apply to the men too, of course. And what I really want to say to you when it comes to a guy asking you out on a date, give guys a break. Like, don't, just because you're not initially interested in the guy, it doesn't mean that you won't be. I actually recently, just today, was listening to someone talk. It was about this dating website. And you guys know that I'm not a huge fan of online dating, but just to illustrate this, they had, like, you could put yay, nay, or maybe on a person online. And what they found was actually that the most people that were in relationship were the ones that initially put maybe, not yay, on there. So the person that you're initially the most attracted to or interested in isn't necessarily the person that's going to be the best in the long run. And you don't always know what you want. Like, I had a friend, she's happily married now, but when she was single, she's a very attractive woman, so she got asked out like quite a bit. But she said that, she would always give a guy a first date. Because she was like, if a guy has the guts to ask me out, then I can give him 45 minutes of time, over a coffee. And she said the reason was because what you think you want is not always what you really, really want. And like, for me, I used to have really kind of this picture in my head of what a woman would be like. And naturally, we all have desires and things that certain types of people are more attracted to. But like, to have this clear picture of who we're gonna meet, I think it's just dumb. Because the deal is, like, I don't know myself that well, and you don't know yourself that well to really know exactly what you want. Like, give God a little bit of room to work with. And if a guy says, like, if obviously if there's someone that you don't feel safe with as a woman, then by all means say no. But if there's a guy that is a good guy, and even if you're not interested in, then just give him a chance, And if you, at the end of the coffee, don't feel like you want to go on a second date, you can just let him know, like, hey, thank you so much for doing this. I sure appreciate, you asking me out. I feel real honored that you did. Excuse me. But, I'm only interested in friendship or whatever, you feel like you want to say. Like, so don't make it like too big of a deal. If a guy asks you out for coffee, like, I know this guy who asked this girl out on a coffee date, and she was like, what are your intentions? And he's like, whoa, we'll ask you out for, to have coffee and chat. Like, it's not a marriage proposal just because someone asks you out. So, I'm not saying obviously that you have to say yes if a guy asks you out. I mean, you're free to do whatever you want. Like, of course. But I noticed that a lot of women do, especially Christian women, kind of complain that guys don't ask them out enough. And it's Christian guys. So, and I know that Christian guys they need to step up more. But also, if you would give guys, just some benefit of the doubt and a break, I think you'd find that would happen a lot more often. Not that the end goal would be to go on as many dates as possible. I mean, if you guys been watching me, you know that that's not what I'm about. But all I'm saying is just like to be open-minded about a person that you might find yourself, that you might end up with eventually. Like, my friend that I told you about that would always give a guy the first date, that when her husband-to-be asked her out, she wasn't interested in him. And she actually told him, I'm not interested, And he was like, well, can we still be friends, And she's like, oh, yeah, sure, we can be friends, And he eventually won her over just by the person that he was. So, and they're really happily married. And I know so many people that were, especially the woman, wasn't initially interested in the guy, but over time she starts saying, oh, wow, he actually, I really, really like him. Because I do think it takes a little longer. Like, the woman, as a woman, you have to feel safe and you have to know who the guy is before you start really feeling attracted to them. Of course, you can be attracted right away. That happens, of course. So I'm not saying you have to say yes to every single date. You can do whatever you want. You're a powerful person. You're free to do whatever you please. But all I'm saying is it could work out for you. You know, that guy that you didn't think much about, necessarily, maybe he's a little bit more quiet or whatever. It might actually end up being a real catch. So give guys a break, ladies.